Hi, and welcome to M. Claire's Yoga and Wellness channel. Today, we are going to do how to get your dream body in 6 easy steps. So, I'm going to tell you the first 5, but you'll have to wait till the end to hear the 6th one. So, I hope you enjoy the flow. And before we start, I'm going to go through the first few of them, and then numbers 4 and 5 will be incorporating today's flow. And like I said, the 6th one you'll have to wait for. So for you to get your dream body, number 1, you need to get enough sleep. We live in a really busy world and our mind races all the time. So what happens is we generally get either poor quality sleep or we actually get too much sleep. If somebody is suffering from depression, they can also sleep for too long, and that can be detrimental to your body as well as having a lack of sleep. So number 1 is crucial to make sure you not only get enough sleep, but you get quality sleep. Number 2 is your eating habits. So to get your dream body, you have to imagine that your body is like a car. If you don't fuel it with the right fuel, it's not going to function properly. So I know we all know it, but it is vital for you to make sure you put into your body what makes your body function at its optimal level. Now, not every person needs the same things. So it's easy for us to say, make sure you eat your fruit and vegetables and, have a certain amount of protein and so on and so forth. But some people's bodies do better with certain things than others. So it's really important for you to understand your own body and to find out what works best for you. So for me personally, I ate meat for the majority of my life. And then my body started to tell me it actually didn't function well with it. So when not all of it altogether, I started cutting out red meat, then moved to just having fish, and then eventually I moved to being a vegetarian. And for me, my body functions really well without it. But because I'd eaten meat my whole life, I didn't know how my body would react. So I didn't actually take the right supplements in order to make sure my body was functioning well. So it's taken a journey for me to learn what other things I need to incorporate into my diet to keep my body working at a really optimal, high-class level. So number 2, what you put into your body really does count to get in the body of your dreams. Number 3 is stress. Now, this is something that's very difficult for us to just tell you not to have stress in your life. That's not realistic. But how you manage your stress and how you combat that stress is very vital to how you'll get your dream body. We all know, or if you don't, if you have high stress levels, your cortisol levels, your stress hormone increases. Now, things like that, it will help your body to hold on to weight. And that's what we don't want to do. So you'll find that when you're incredibly stressed, you'll hold on to weight around your center and sometimes around your legs, but generally around your middle. And we also choose to eat things that give us that instant gratification that aren't always best for our bodies. So we will reach for the cookies or the chocolate, and it's not that they're not great for you, it's just the right ones. If you're reaching for some dark chocolate, that can be brilliant for you. I love dark chocolate and I incorporate it into my diet all the time. It's a brilliant antioxidant, but it also gives you that instant feel-good factor that you're looking for when you reach for that snack. So trying to find ways to combat the stress is very important, and how you manage it. So you want to be able to add something like some relaxation into your day. At the end of a day, even if it means, not listening to music, but reading a book of something that is uplifting and makes you feel good, or going and sitting outside watching the sunset. Find what works for you, but you have to find the right ways to manage that stress and bring down those cortisol levels, and that will help you work towards the body of your dreams. Now, number 4 and 5 is what we're going to do today, which is our yoga flow. So what I find to really get your body into the body that you desire is 2 things. I like to add weight with my poses. So I like to use a kettlebell. You can use anything as long as you're loading the weight when you're doing your poses. What that does is that helps you to build and tone the areas that become more difficult to tone as we get older. So, you can do all the other things right, but if you're not incorporating a weight, at least even if it's just a light weight, it's very hard to get the muscle definition and the toneness that you're looking for. But on top of that, you also must make sure that you're increasing the flexibility and mobility, and you're having that fluidity in your joints and your body's able to move, because that in itself enables your body to function properly. The digestive system, if everything is all hunched up and like this and you can't actually get everything moving, you're going to slow down your digestive system. Your blood flow and oxygen won't flow throughout your body as well as it would do. So the flexibility that we get from our yoga is fantastic, and the mobility side of it. But by doing it, and if you add a little weight to it, you can get the benefit of toning as well. So today, if you have got a kettlebell or you have a weight, please get hold of it and use it. But if you don't have one today, you can just do the flow without it. But the next time you come back to do the class, see if you can get a weight just to help you with it and see the difference that you find when you do it. And after we've done our flow, I will tell you the 6th secret to getting your dream body. Okay, let's begin. Okay, we won't begin with using weights because it's important for us to stretch. So we want to make sure that we have stretched our muscles so we don't hurt ourselves when we incorporate the weight into our practice. So it's not something that you have to you start off and just get straight into it. You want to actually warm up into it, then bring the weight into it, then put the weight down, and then finish off your flow without a weight, getting back to that stretching as well from after you've loaded the poses, then stretch it all out again, and then finish off with our relaxation, which helps with the stress. Okay, let's get into a downward facing dog. Push through your hands, bring your chest towards the floor, and aim to get your heels on the mat. We're going to lift up onto our toes and come back down. If you can't get down to the mat, it's not an issue, please. This is just for you, a feel-good flow for everybody. So you may be able to do some of the poses, you may not. I'll give you modifications so that everybody can have a go with today's flow, as this is about getting your dream body, not anyone else's. And we all have different ideas of what we want. And then you can walk it on the spot, bending your knees, adding movement side to side. And throughout this as well, to help with any stress that you have, physical stress or mental stress, I want you to really focus on your breathing as well. It's very difficult to think about all the problems we have going on when you're focusing on your breathing, your inhales and your exhales. Try it. It's almost impossible. I have many a times tried to see if I could think of something while I'm focusing on my breathing, and I'm yet to do it. So give it a go and see how quickly your body reacts to it not having to think about all the things you have to do, and it brings you back to the present moment. Let's come back to neutral. And here, let's practice that breathing I just said to you about. A nice deep inhale through your nose, and then let it all out. We're going to come forward, touch your knees to the floor, bring your chest towards your thighs, and then just extend. Bring them down. And you don't want to actually put your knees on the mat, you want them just hovering above.
And if this is too difficult for you, please just stay in your downward facing dog. Or you can just come and stay in a bear position and keep coming up and down until we finish. I'm going to do 3 more of these. And last one. Then we're just going to walk slowly to the front of our mat, coming into a standing forward fold, and just hang your body heavy, allowing your head to fall towards the floor. You can hold onto your elbows and rock side to side here. Then you're just going to take your left foot over the top of your right foot and again come forward, placing your hands next to your feet if you can, or you can be up further here if it's easier for you. You just want to get the stretch down the hamstrings. Then come back up, change sides. Come back up. Have a slight bend in your knee, and we're just going to roll up one vertebra at a time into our mountain pose. Just want you to stand here and ground your feet into the mat. Place your palms facing forward, and I just want you to think about what it is you want out of this flow. How you can incorporate the 5 things I've told you so far into your life to help you get that dream body. And set that intention on how you're going to do it. And you can close your eyes here, take a few deep breaths. You can add some shoulder rolls as well, just to alleviate any tension in your shoulders. And then take your hands over the top of your head, interlace your fingers, point your index finger up, and just add a slight back bend here. Come on up, reach towards the right side, stretching down the left side of the body. Come back up and change sides, reaching towards the left. Coming up, stretch your fingers towards the ceiling. Bring your hands back down to your side. You're going to bend your knees and come on up into our chair position. And we're just going to hold it here for now. This is going to build that muscle in our quads and start to strengthen before we get into some of the poses that we can, if we have one, use the weight. And here we're just going to add some pulses up and down. Just little movements. Last 2. Then stay low as you can. And here bring your hands into prayer position. And you're just going to bring your hands up above your head and back down again. Working the arms, but also working the legs by staying in the squat position. Keep going. We're nearly there. 3 more. And last one. Bring your hands onto the floor and straighten up into that standing forward fold. Again, coming back to your breathing. Bend your knees, step your left foot back, coming into our high lunge. Here, if you have a weight, I want you to get hold of it. We're just going to come up, use your left hand for balance. I'm just going to hold on to that weight and touch your knee and extend. So if you don't have a weight, you can still do this same movement and still get the same benefits. Just this, with this pose, you're loading it if you do have a weight. Last two, and last one. Place your weight on the floor. Step back into our plank. Now, if you can, I want you to do this movement in a high plank like this. If you need to put your knees down to do it, then go for it. We're just going to do chaturanga push-ups, but if you have your weight, we're going to come down, push back up again, hold on to your weight, bring it through to the other side, and then repeat again. Chaturanga push-up, grab your weight, bring it through, and we're going to do this 5 times on each side. So those that don't have a weight, you can just do the chaturanga push-ups, either up like this or on your knees, whichever is best for you. Okay, let's begin. Push up, pull through, and you're reaching for your weight with your opposite hand. Halfway. And last one. Now for those that have a weight, I want you just to take it to the opposite side, because we're going to need it for when we repeat on the opposite side, our high lunge squats. Okay, push back into our downward facing dog. And just let your heart rate slow down again. Now step forward with your left foot, coming into that high lunge. Come on up into our high lunge. Careful with your balance. Use your right arm to help you with the stability. And we're going to add those touches and extend. Two more. Place your weight down if you have one. Come back into that high lunge. Step back into plank. Here, we're actually just going to do, we've done our push-ups, so don't worry. We're going to do some bear walks in and out, so you don't need your weight here. Come in, back out again. Engage your core, nice flat backs. And just make sure your knees don't actually touch the floor. They want to be about 1 inch or 2 above it. Stay nice and grounded through your hands. The movement should be very minimal so that you're getting all the benefits in your core and your legs. Even though in a pose like this, you actually work your arms as well, even though they're stationary. Two more on each side. And last one. Come through your chaturanga, upward facing dog. Push through your hands. Try and keep your thighs off the floor and your toes together if you can. Breathe here. And then push back again to our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Then we're just going to step through with our right foot, come round into this wide-legged forward fold. And here we just want to stretch, because remember, part of
getting our dream body is about this flexibility. So if standing here is enough, then please just stay here, pigeon toe your feet inwards to help you with your balance. And you're just going to come to wherever feels comfortable. And I want you to really feel that stretch down your hamstrings, because that's where a lot of us do find we hold a lot of tension, and also in our hips. So this is a really nice way to try and sort of combat that as well. For those that find this already quite easy, you can bring your forearms to the floor, or you can bring your forehead to the floor and you can reach your hands through. And just take a few breaths here. And if you'd like to add a twist here, you can hold on to your right foot with your left hand and add a twist here, just getting into the spine. If you're new to these sort of practices, then please just stay in your standing forward fold, or your wide-legged forward fold, sorry. Come back to the center and change sides. Just careful with your balance. Then come back to the center, and you're just going to jump your feet in, coming into our Malasana yogic squat. Use your elbows to push your knees out. Your aim is to try and get your feet flat on the floor, but if you're stiff and you're tight, just go wherever you feel comfortable. And you can add a bit of movement here, bringing your legs side to side, getting into those hip areas that we were just talking about that do hold a lot of tension and can get very tight if we don't use them and we don't have the mobility. Or you can also move side to side, whatever feels good for you. And the more you use your elbows to push out, the deeper you're going to find that stretch as well. Sit up straight. And for those that do have a weight, you can hold onto your weight, and we're just going to come down and bring it back up again, staying in this Malasana or wide-legged yogic squat, so that we can get the benefits of also working our arms while sitting in this wonderful pose and getting into the hip area. Three more. And place your weight down if you have one. Just use your hands, sit down in the mat. Let's turn around, coming into the center of our mat. And here we're just going to do some sit-ups. You can either use it with your weight or you can use it without. So you're going to roll down. If you have a weight, bring it behind your head and slowly come on up and use your arms, extending them to the ceiling. If you don't, do the same position, just do it without the weight in your hand. And we're going to do it slow and controlled. So that we can really engage all those muscles. By rushing through it, we actually lack getting the benefit of it. Keep going, you guys are doing great. We're nearly done. 2 more of these. And last one. Well done. Now we're going to do our Russian twists, where you're just going to reach the weight to the side and then go to the other side. We're going to do it slow and controlled. Again, if you don't have a weight, you can still do this. You just bring your hands together and move them side to side, touching the floor on each side.
And 2 more. And then we're going to roll down 1 vertebra at a time. And we're going to finish off with our bridge. So if you have a weight, you're just going to extend your weight up to the ceiling and back to your chest. If you don't have a weight, you're just going to keep in this bridge position, but you can interlace your fingers and try and bring your palms together. And you're just going to stay like this, really pushing through the hips. So whichever one you do, and if you do have a weight and you'd rather do the one without it, then please do so. So those with the weights, please be careful. Hold on to your weight. You're going to keep your hips up and bring your hands up and down, controlled. And 3 more. And last one. Roll down carefully, place your weight to the side, and come on into our final position, Shavasana. Extending your legs and your arms out to the side, allow them to fall heavy to wherever they feel most comfortable. I want you to close your eyes and come back to that breathing. So today we were focusing on how we get our dream body. And what we discussed was making sure we got enough sleep, but it had to be sleep that is not just interrupted all night thinking about all sorts. It has to be good quality sleep. So you may find that your body functions fine on 4 or 5 hours of deep quality sleep, whereas somebody else might need 8 hours because their sleep is interrupted. Again, we come back to knowing your own body, learning what your body needs, because by deepening the connection between you and your physical and your mental, it allows you to understand your needs, your individual needs, which are very different to other people. We all are different. What works for one doesn't always work for the other. So that's number 1. We really need to learn how to get that quality sleep. Number 2, we discussed eating and how eating affects and plays a part in us getting our dream body. Again, learning what works for you, knowing if you are good at eating meat or whether or not you're lactose intolerant, or perhaps too many carbs affects you. Start playing around with your food and finding what works the best for you. Look at intermittent fasting, see if that works. But make sure whatever you're doing is for the best for you, not what somebody else has told you works for them. Because again, we're all different. Number 3, we discussed stress levels. Now, the stress plays a part in the first 2. If we're highly stressed, we tend to get less sleep or too much sleep. And we tend to eat things that generally aren't good for our bodies and don't help us to function at our optimal level. So finding ways to manage our stress levels will also help us with the first 2. But also having quality sleep and eating the right foods will also help us manage our stress. So they all play hand in hand. Now number 4 and 5, we just did. We incorporated the loading our poses with weights. And if you didn't, you'll still see that we did do poses that made your muscles work. We built those muscles. We still tone them. But we also incorporated the flexibility side and the mobility side so that your body can feel more open and it can be more relaxed instead of tense and tight and stiff. And that in itself helps you to sleep better. It helps you to choose the right foods, because instead of feeling all uptight and stressed and uncomfortable. Our bodies are open and relaxed and calm. So we actually want to put better things into our bodies. We're not chasing for the packet of chips or the burger or whatever it may be that we need just to try and fill that hole because we're feeling awful. And here we're doing the relaxation side of it, which also is another way to combat that stress and help to manage it. And I encourage each and every one of you to incorporate this into your daily routines, whether it's while you lie in bed when you first wake up, before you grab hold of your phone. You just take a moment to ground yourself, be present, and set an intention for the day, how it's going to work out. Whether or not things go wrong, it's life, we're going to deal with that. But it's how we manage those situations which will depend how our day ends and unfolds. So as we wake up our bodies and start to open our eyes and take one last big stretch over our head and roll over to meet me in the mat, I will then tell you what our sixth secret or tip is to get in your dream body. And that is patience. So without patience, unfortunately, we won't get there. And that's with everything in life. You had to be patient and get to the end of my video to find out what the sixth secret was, or the sixth tip for getting your dream body. And that's with getting your dream body too. You know, if we try and get our dream body quickly in unhealthy ways, we won't sustain that dream body. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to be something that you incorporate into your life, and so that your body is working at its optimal levels because of having adequate amount of sleep and quality sleep, eating the right things that fuel your body for it to work at its best, managing your stress, keeping those levels down, your cortisone levels down, making sure you're moving your body, whether it's any way that works well for you, whether it's on the mat doing yoga with me or with somebody else, incorporating some weight into it to help strengthen and tone that body so it's got that strength and power behind it as well. All of those things work wonders, but without patience, it's very hard to get there. You have to make this a life choice. So I really do hope you enjoyed today's 6 tricks or tips or secrets, whatever you'd like to call them, in getting your dream body. And I hope you incorporate them into your life. If you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, please share it with your friends and family. Please comment below and I'll respond to anything you'd like me to talk about. If there's any questions you have on the video we had today, shoot me a message. And if there's anything else you'd like to see more of, also send me a comment and I'll get back to you as well. And I'll try and put whatever flows together you'd like to see. Have a wonderful day and go out there and get your dream body. Thank you. Take care.